Yeah. Yo, get in tune to my energy, no longer into me. It's all good, horse bosses for infinity.
So, first and foremost, welcome back to another beautiful podcast with me and Aqila from Soulwork Studio. If you have been not in tune and privy to the mental wealth podcast, just know this is what we normalize: therapy, emotional wellness, mental wellness, emotional literacy, mental wellness. And we do that through culturally grounded conversations, educational conversations. And we could discuss art, we can discuss music, we can discuss politics, we can discuss yoga, we can discuss many of things out there that is contributing to your mental wealth and to your just mental health overall. So without further ado, I bring you none other than the beautiful, talented, entrepreneurial birth worker, just so many titles, so many. Aqila, everybody.
Thank you.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
It's good to hear. So if you don't know, I had the opportunity to meet Aqila over the summer last year. I brought my tribe in. We came in to have a good time. It was a family yoga planning day, and I had a great time that day.
I'm glad you did. It was so fun.
Yeah. It was very fun, but I was a little stressed. I was stiff, I was tight in certain places. Pause. But overall, I had a great time. My son enjoyed it. Let's talk for a second. For people who are just meeting you,
yes.
How would you describe the work you do, and what Soulwork Studio represents?
Well, Soulwork is a place where we invite people to live intentionally and incorporate self-study. What is it that you need when you come to your mat? Do you need to de-stress? Do you need to get in touch with your body, strengthen, stretch, or all of the above? I think of it as 360 degrees of life maintenance.
Oh, 360 degrees of life maintenance. Explain that to me. What do you mean?
I mean that you have to take care of your mind, you have to take care of your body, and you have to take care of your spirit. And that's what yoga means. It means to unite the mind, the body, and spirit. And when all three are united, we live at harmony with ourselves and with other people. That's what I believe, and that's what I see.
I love that. Your mind, your body, and your spirit, man. And I think that's an important message for people to really take into account, is like we have to always make sure that we are taking in like what's going on with our mind, our body, and our spirit. There's a lot of us, we rush. We live in Western society, civilization. We always are on the go. We're trying to like be the next best thing or continuously do things that we were taught to do. When you are in this practice, do you typically see more like men doing it or more women? Like what type of demographics do you see?
Well, presently I see more women, and I definitely would love to see more men. When I first began teaching yoga, actually it was more men.
Okay.
And that's because I was teaching, I think, in a hot yoga studio. So men gravitate more to more strength or, stronger, what they think to be stronger practices.
Okay.
However, it really takes a lot of strength to slow down, and less is actually more.
However, less is more.
Yes.
Less is more. I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit later in the podcast, but less is more.
I'm sorry. But I definitely, now this is not a hot yoga studio. This is normal room temperature. However, I see more women. And the men that do come, they're always like, I would love for more men to come. And when another man comes, they're like high-fiving. They're like, you welcome.
Listen, I had the opportunity. I did yoga a couple of times in my life, right? And I was always in the mindset of like, it's not really masculine. I don't want anybody to see me doing these crazy positions and things like that. But as time went on, I've done yoga way more, and it's really intense. It's really strenuous. It really works your body. And I think even when I was here with you, I'm like, hold up. Start on level 1 because I don't know what level you're at, but that's not the level I'm at. And I've really had to like take my time and retract some of the things I was doing for a second to be like, all right, I gotta get in the mental space. Meanwhile, my son was just, daddy, he's a little more flexible. He's younger. His body is a little more fluid. I'm getting older. Things is getting like this, So that was a beautiful experience. What first drew you? First of all, what is hot yoga? Let's explain that because
hot yoga is yoga done in a room with temperatures of 105 degrees.
Okay, 105 degrees.
Yeah, that's old school. Now they lessen the temperature because over time, actually, the heat can damage your body.
Okay.
Because what is happening is that it can overstretch because your body's so warm, and you may not understand that within yourself, like how far to go. Yeah. So sometimes what they were seeing, people were going too far, too stretched. Yeah.
Wow. So I had to do my research when I came here. It's a little bit, and I learned like there's different yogas as well. Like there was like you said, a hot yoga. There's like a power yoga. There's I think it's a strength yoga. Like there's so many different yogas. Yeah. Like when you were making your decision, first of all, like what got you in the space of like, I'm going to do this yoga. This is the one I want to do.
Well, I do it all. Like I said, my roots are actually in hot and heat. And as I grew older and as I learned more about the heat, it's not something that I wanted to be in or do I recommend it like every day? I do recommend it like maybe, a couple of times a week, but not every day.
Okay.
And I saw the benefit of being in a regular heated yoga studio because then I knew when I was making my own heat because you will sweat.
That's right.
But in a hot room, I didn't know when I started to make the heat for myself.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect. And I feel like you can learn or glean a little bit more of what's you and where your power is or how you're working at any particular time.
Okay. Yeah. So yoga is kind of like individual in a sense, right? Like you can find what works best for you. Normally when people are telling you to go to yoga, that's probably like the basic one for a sense, because all of the yoga has been the same a lot of the times. But just from hearing what you're saying, there's like different ones you can really, really get into.
Yeah, let me speak to that. So I also teach hot yoga. I teach regular yoga. When I say regular, it's a vinyasa. I also teach yin yoga, which that yoga is really slow. And it's primarily stretching. And it is designed to deal with your connective tissue, the fascia in your body. So I call that yoga like the most advanced practice because we hold the poses from anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And it is really hard for people to do, especially because we're used to moving, going from one pose to the next pose, up, down, which I teach that.
Yeah.
And then we live in a culture of fast, quicker, harder. And in yin, you're holding the shape for a long time.
Wow.
Long enough to know the noise in your mind. And that can be really uncomfortable for folks. So I always say that going slow is more of an advanced practice.
That's in life. That's a gem right there. If going slow is more of an advanced practice, the Bible will tell you don't be anxious about anything, right? Just be patient. Just take your time. My bad.
No. I love it.
But yeah, listen.
That's it.
I love what she said here. Let me get back to some of my questions here. What first drew you into embodied healing and wellness work back in 2013?
Well, my own story with yoga is that I came to yoga because I was grieving.
Grieving?
Grieving.
Okay, sorry.
Grieving. And one of my friends introduced me to it. I had a recent loss. My kid's father was killed. And then I started practicing yoga and it was very helpful. So I came for my mind, my well-being, my spirit. And in that practice, I started to find my body. At that time, I was really overweight. And then all of a sudden I was slimming and trimming. And then I continued to practice. And now it was more than just, the grief. I worked through that. I mean, you always have it for life, but I was ready to move on.
Yeah.
And so I continued, and I really just loved how calm I was, how present I was, and how healthy my body was becoming. And yeah.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you for sharing that with us, because you didn't have to. And I'm sorry about your partner passing away at the time. That's a really deep space to be in. And then taking just saying, you know what, I'm gonna find something that's gonna, help me in a sense, like, because healing takes a lifetime. No one ever is just. I remember, things that when my father passed away, and it's like you never fully get over it. But just the fact that you were able to share that, and you started going into yoga, it makes me think of all of the people that's going to be watching and listening, and how some people are still grieving the passing of those that's in their life, but they don't really have the mindset to, like, you know what, let me try something new. Let me go somewhere else. Was it anybody who pushed you into that? Or was it just, you just woke up one day and was like, I got to get into something else?
No, my friend at the time, her name is Dara Cole, and she owned a yoga studio. And she said, come, this will be helpful. She had a yoga studio called Sacred, and that's where I was trained. And it no longer exists. It did not survive the pandemic, but she definitely encouraged me. And that was like the best advice that anyone could give me.
That's dope. Shout out to her, because yoga, Soulwork is here, and Soulwork gives me a place to do my podcasting. So we're gonna just salute her for real.
That's it.
When someone walks in, they're like, "Listen, it's my first time. I want to, take advantage. I want to see what this is like." What is a typical session like with you? Like, what do they look like? Can you see, like, all right, I got to work this person out a little bit. Like, what is that session like with you?
Yeah, so I always ask people, what do they want? What are they looking for out of their practice? And I just had a recent class, and one of the people were saying that their knees hurt. The other person was saying that their neck and their shoulders hurt. So I get a lot of joint pain, and that's prevalent.
It's going to be so corny, but I don't know why it was on my mind. I just want to say it. My neck and my back. My bad. That's corny, I know, but just go ahead. Sorry.
And that's because of we're texting, we're computering all the time, and we're not meant to sit for the extended amounts of time that we sit in. And so what I will do is I register that, and then I'm like, okay, what poses will support this? And then I go typically slow when someone is new, and do some yoga basics, and some that is like table, downward dog, some warriors, and just really help them find their breath with the moves and the alignment. Yeah.
I like that. Listen, real quick, Soulwork Studio is available. If you really want to check in with Aqila, you can go online, go on your Instagram. What is your Instagram page?
It's Soulwork Studio. Yeah.
Soulwork. That's it. Just Soulwork Studio. Let's keep moving. So you were mentioning at one point that you were doing embodied healing, the work back in 2013. What I want to say, really, like, what is the difference between, or how is that different from just sitting through, like, maybe a therapy session where someone is talking to you and just talking about the trauma?
Right. Well, a lot of our emotions get trapped in our body. And like I was speaking about yin, the fascia is something that grows with you your whole entire life. That's the one thing that does not change unless you manipulate it from the poses. And what happens is there's so much that's stored in our subconscious mind. And when we're in yoga and we're holding a pose, I get often, I just started crying, and I don't know why. I don't know the thought that made the cry or anything. And it's not that. It's not anything you can pinpoint. It's just stuff that all of the woulda, coulda, shouldas get stored in your hips, and money gets stored in your back, and work stress gets stored in your shoulders. And so if you move that, it liberates those emotions, and you don't even have to think about the why, but you create space, some freedom in your mind and in your body.
You know what I love? The fact that you said if you move that, you don't even have to think about like the emotions. Right? That's what you said. Correct?
Yeah, you don't have to think about the why or like what happened. It just gives a release and it makes some space.
And this is why I'm trying to tell men, particularly, right? Like, especially Black men, we don't understand that, or maybe some of us do, but yoga, for my brothers that's like, I don't want to go to therapy, I don't need to talk to nobody. Try yoga, bro. You don't have to talk to nobody. You can come in here, meet Aqila, get your session, or someone like Aqila, get your session, keep it to yourself, get your stretch on, and you will start, because you said the fascia is something that you keep for your whole life, right? And I want to touch on what that is, but a lot of men are just kind of like, it's not masculine. Like you said, someone tapped into their emotions. They were crying. They were sad. A lot of men don't want to deal with that at times, like sitting in that quiet space. And now I have to think. I have to think of maybe past trauma. I got to think of people I may have hurt, things I'm going through, things I'm experiencing, because it's still at the same time not talked about. It's still not masculine. It still isn't something that we need to be discussing, right? We need to shut up and keep it quiet to ourselves. But yet this pain is still inside of our body, and hurting us at the same time. What is the fascia?
The fascia is the encasing of your muscles. It's like when you see meat, that white part that holds the muscles and the bones and everything together.
So when you're eating chicken, that cartilage.
Yeah.
The cartilage. Is that right?
It's like that.
It's like that. How does movement help people reconnect with parts of themselves they may have ignored or suppressed?
It's similar to what I just said. It just like has you pay attention to you.
Yeah.
So if I'm saying step your right foot forward, then you have to think about your right foot, and it brings you into the present moment. And the present moment is where you actually are. You're no longer in the past, and you're not in the future yet. But when you take the time to really just honor what's here right now, you get a little glimpse to see that, you know what, you're on the mat and you're all right.
Yeah.
So whatever happened before, it's no longer, it can't touch you not on the mat. And whatever is yet to come, we're not there yet. Because if you take this time, then what is to come will be like what's happening right now. And that is you being present. And a lot of times we miss what's good about ourselves because we're moving so fast. And that's really important, to just stop and see what's working.
Yeah.
And there's more that's working than's not, even though we may not realize it. And it's like, oh, I have to get this thing. I want to do this thing and all of that. I feel like that, too. But my job is to remind you that you are here. Okay.
I already know, because the last one I had, it was just that low, and I remember I couldn't really hear.
Oh,
yeah. So now I'm like,
okay.
My bad. So, okay, you're doing good though. Keep it up. Yeah, man. Like you said, some profound things, and I think it's important for young Black brothers, young Black sisters, everybody to really check in with yourself, really do a scan of your body. That's why meditation is extremely important, because you can sit, be quiet, be mindful of where you're at, be present of that moment where you're at, but you can do a scan of your body and really see like what's going on with yourself. They say that yoga is one of the most ultimate exercises, from what I've heard. And they were talking about how this gentleman was talking about how like athletes that you see that are like humongous, big, Diesel, Arnold Schwarzenegger, LeBron, like these guys, when you see them, you think they're more healthy because their body is like, the muscles and everything are protruding more, they're bigger. But in actuality, this gentleman was talking about, I think his name is like Brian Kelly or Brian something, but it's no disrespect, but he was just talking about how they break their bodies down so much it's actually more harmful, and yoga is more softer but yet more intense. And he was saying, like, if you really look at it, some of the best exercises are the ones that are softer on your body. Like walking is actually one of the best forms of exercising because it's gentle, right? It's not as hard, you're not beating yourself up. But like sports, for football, weightlifting, you're stressing, you're straining yourself. Do you find that to be true?
Yeah, I agree with
Mhm.
whoever said that.
Mhm.
And what I'm learning is that if you want to live pain free,
Mhm.
it's about aligning and stacking your muscles together. So
Mm.
sometimes when you're building up your muscles in a certain way, what it does is it pulls the joints in one way or the another. Sometimes they're too long, muscles are stretched too long where they need to be short. They're too strong where they need to be loose. And then that creates an imbalance in your body. And that's where a lot of the pain comes from.
Wow. Yeah. See, and if you're an older gentleman, older woman, you want to get there and continue to keep working out so you can live a good life, right? You want to have that endurance, that stamina, that flexibility still. So you want to be able to work out. How can you tell? How can someone tell when their nervous system is just out of balance? What does that look like?
That looks like anxiety. It could look like many different things, actually.
Mm.
Anxiety, which is like overthinking. It could be heart palpitations. It could be sweaty palms.
Mm.
It could be just fear. It could be not sleeping, insomnia.
Yeah.
It could be so many different things.
Yo, there's a lot of people in this world, a lot of people I know that have insomnia. Stay up all night, can't go to sleep for whatever reason. And they're looking for practices, things that help them find a better, resolution when it comes to sleeping at night. Can yoga really help with that as well?
Yes.
Hmm.
There's also a practice called restorative yoga that I
Hmm.
recommend, and we have that here as well. We have a variety of yoga here, and restorative yoga is just that. It restores rest
Hmm.
to your body, and when you actually allow yourself to rest, which is very propped. So if you take restorative, there's a lot of props. They put you in poses, and the priority in a restorative class is comfort.
Right.
And so by having that comfort and letting your parasympathetic nervous system really find that deep rest, it allows you to sleep better at night.
Thank you for that. I'm gonna leave that there. Let me ask you. Community is very important. Um, I know when me and Miss Rogers was talking last time, we were just talking about how holistically everything is connected. We're all inside of a community. Little do we know where, you know, something happens here, it's going to be felt around the world, right? It's the smallest thing, especially if it's like injustice. Let me ask you, why is it important to heal within or have the community be a part of the healing process rather than healing alone?
Oh, that's such a great question. And what I often say is that yoga is an individual practice,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a reason why people come to a yoga studio because there's community. There's other people around them working on their own individual selves, and somehow that gives you comfort to know that you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take care of yourself, you're actually taking care of your community.
Wow.
So I say yoga is a very individual practice that's best served in community.
That's so powerful. When you take care of yourself, you're taking care of your community. That's it's sort of like a sports team, right? Like when I'm playing sports or when I was on a sports team, if I'm working at my position, doing the best I can at my position, when the coach puts me in the game, I'm gonna be, grade A at my position, which is gonna make the team better, right? So I think that's important to know. Like, so don't just think it's like, oh, you're doing this for yourself. No, you're actually doing it for your family. You're doing it for your peace of mind. But when they meet you, people greet you, people talk to you, people see you, you're a whole, and you're able to be that 1% better in your community, you're that person. Like you said, 360 days. That powerful message you said.
360 degrees of life maintenance.
360 degrees of life maintenance. That's extremely important. What role does storytelling and music play in the healing process?
Oh, a lot. So in yoga, all of the poses have a story that go with them. And the stories are based in myth, but they all have a message, a lesson to learn and to carry with you. So when you're going through these poses, you're actually getting an opportunity to share your own story along with embodying the story that the poses have.
Okay.
Yeah. Like for instance, a warrior pose is really about being strong enough to tackle any demons within you. It's not about fighting someone else.
Hold on. This is the first time is this a warrior pose?
That could be, but not all the way. But I like that.
What is that? What is that pose? Is that a sun salute? What is that?
That is more of a lunge, but warrior one does look like that.
Okay.
It's just that you can't see his feet.
Mm-hmm.
The feet are different.
Okay.
So if both of the heels are up, it's a lunge. If you place one heel down, then it becomes a warrior.
Okay. So
yeah.
I'm not even gonna repeat that. But told you I know a little bit.
Yes.
I know a little bit. Y'all thought I was slipping over here. Because you do get some people who are like, you don't know nothing about no yoga. You don't even know what you talking about. You come from... Nah, I know a little something. All right. So when you hear the phrase mental wealth, right? What does that mean personally to you?
Oh, I love that phrase. I love that you came up with that concept. It is so true.
Thank you.
Mental wealth is about the resources of your mind, the power to be healthy and sound in your thinking, because that translates to every other aspect of yourself, because how you think impacts your body. How you think impacts your outcomes. How you think impacts how you tell your story. And just with your mind and your mental well-being, you can actually change the trajectory of your life and your path. Because instead of saying that the glass is half empty, you can say, well, it's half full and I get to drink this, right?
I don't even want to be around you if you think the glass is half empty. If the glass is half empty, we not even in the same playing field. I just want to let you know that. Yeah. So keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And mental wealth means that you value taking care of the mind. And I think that this needs to be advocated more, which you're doing. And especially as a Black man, because it's like we understand treating our body, going to the doctor when we're sick, but we don't go to the doctor, or we don't take time to check out our mind. And our mind needs yearly health checks just as much, if not more.
Majority of your problems, majority of diseases begin up here. I just want to let you know that. It all begins up here, right? Even when you have a terminally ill disease or something that is going to kill you, it's important for you to know you must maintain confidence, maintain a positive attitude, maintain just believing that you're going to get through it, maintain hope, right? There's so many people, believe it or not, they don't share these stories, who have beat a lot of these diseases, a lot of these just so many things about that hurts your human body, that they have overcame just because of their mindset, right? So you don't die unless you say, I'm going to die. I'm just going to be honest with you with that. And I know some things are unpreventable, but you can sometimes sustain your life just through your mental. That's extremely important. Extremely important. For beginners who feel intimidated by healing spaces, kind of nah, I'm good, it's weird over there, they're gonna be doing some weird stuff to my mind. What's one simple way they can start caring for their mental and emotional health?
Just breathing, taking a moment to just pause when they notice a shift in their mood. Say or even just if they're outside and someone cut them off, just pause. That pause is sacred. And that just gives your mind a little bit of time to get some more oxygen to it, to make a better thought and a better choice. And it can just be a second, right? Or a few moments. Just, and then even if you close your eyes, and then you can say to yourself, when you close your eyes, when I open my eyes, I'm gonna have a different point of view.
I love that. That's extremely important, especially if you live in like a major city, like anywhere in your life. But I'm telling you right now, in New York City, the driving here is crazy. Like people will cut you off just left, right, slow down, not speeding up, standing in the middle of the street. So I think breathing, not only just in traffic, as you mentioned, life in general, but learn how to take a deep breath, let things go, don't stress it as much as you can. Box breathing is extremely important. Inhale for 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, right? Like it's extremely important. And even 50 Cent, I remember he was talking about, man, when somebody cut me off in traffic, I just let them go. Because you don't know what type of day they were having, and they might get out the car and do something to me, right? So I thought for him, somebody that is labeled as a gangster, it's important for people to know that, man. You ain't got to fight every battle. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Last 2 questions. How can someone build daily rituals that support their nervous system and emotional well-being?
I really like to work with people individually around the rituals that they create. But what I can say, what I love is the morning time. That's a great time to set the tone of your day. And if you could, when you wake up, the very first thing to utter is thank you. That is one of the highest prayers of the universe. And then from that thank you, if you want to take some time before you get even out of the bed, just to sit in quiet for, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a long time to begin with.
I love it.
And just, take that time to meditate and maybe meditate on a word. How do I want to show up for my life today? And just repeat that word. Say peaceful, maybe it's peaceful, maybe it's joyous, maybe it's energized, whatever it is. And then from there, just move about your day, and let your rituals begin, little by little. Not Don't overwhelm yourself. But for me, I have been practicing for a long time, so meditation for many years. So I wake up, I say thank you. I do right now, I used to do 20-minute meditations, but I do 10-minute meditations now that I run a business. But nevertheless, it's very helpful. And then I do some affirmations. So also just speaking some affirmative thoughts for your day. And sometimes, not every day, I incorporate journaling.
Woo! Journaling is big. It's extremely huge. And a lot of people, I have my students do this a lot of times. Like, first of all, yes to everything you said. I received that as great energy and great information, powerful. So thank you for that, by the way. I have students that come in a lot of times and they're so mad and angry. And they get like, oh, she said this and she said, and I don't like her because da-da-da-da-da. And then I'm like, you know what? Take a deep breath and just we do some box breathing. And one of the things that I do with them, because you just mentioned that I found to be extremely helpful, is I tell them to write a letter to themselves. Just real quick, write this letter. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what made you mad, but also talk to your inner self, and then just tell me what do you have planned for yourself in the future. And then they read that back. And they're like, I don't even know why I'm stressing over that girl. She did it. I don't even need, because I'm going to high school. I'm getting this done. I'm getting that done. But it all comes from journaling, right? And so just being able to write out your thoughts and then put it on paper and then read it and really see like, oh, like you mentioned, I got so much to look forward to. Because one of the things you're mentioning is being grateful, right? I got so much to look forward to. What am I tripping about? Yeah, why are you tripping? Why are you tripping? Let that go, man. Aqila, this was beautiful. I want to thank you for having me in your space. I want to thank you for talking to my mental wealthers out here, my mental wealth builders. If it's one thing you can leave to like a young girl out there, or a young man out there, or just someone out there that's an older person that's just like, you know what, I need to figure myself out, figure what's going on with me. They're a little stressed. What kind of advice could you give them?
Hmm. Well, I like reading too. So there are some books that I love, and one of them is The Road Back to You. I love work by Maya Angelou too. Any poetry or books that she has. And sometimes I think that you just need to be in community with people who are doing the things that you want to do. A young person, mentorship is really, really good to have. And I have mentorship, and I'm the age that I am. I always seek mentorship to learn and to grow. You don't have to do it all alone.
Let's
And
go.
sometimes when you have a mentor, they just guide you a little bit. And in that guidance, you're able to say that I don't need to be like everybody else. I can be like myself. And that's enough. So I don't need to compete. I don't need to compare, which is the thief of your own gifts that you bring to this world, and they're uniquely yours. And so I say, find that person who you admire and ask for a mentor. Don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought it was like, but yeah, don't be
No.
don't keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
good. That's good work. You said something that just find you a mentor. To all young people out there, find you someone that you look up to, someone that's going to lead you in the right direction. Because believe it or not, the youth, a lot of us or a lot of older folks be like, oh, they lost. They actually know who is someone they should look up to, who should be giving them that right advice a lot of times. Because a lot of times they are very knowledgeable about that. So I want to say thank you for that. Yes, find you a mentor, find you someone that is building, that is in progression, that is helping, and learn. Don't be afraid to learn. Everyone at any age, as you mentioned, any age, still don't be afraid to learn. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. It's great to be on this show and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes.
And we out. A moment for mental wealth.
Yeah. Yo, get in tune to my energy.